Hello, and welcome to Keeper's Corner Podcast, where we're breaking down anything and everything Utica City FC related. With your hosts, as always, Matthew Sterling, Michelle Brooks, and Brandon Brooks. Let's go. Hello again, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Keeper's Corner Podcast. Quite obviously, this is our first episode in quite some time due to last year's disappointing way that the season went, as in there was no season for Utica City. But as always, I'm Matt Sterling, joined by Brandon and Michelle Brooks.
Oh my God, give it some fanfare, we're back! Come on! That's right.
And then, as he often joins us, and here to give us a pretty good recap on last season, is the FC fanatic, Matt Huber.
What's going on, everybody?
So, guys, as we all know, Utica in, late January last year, announced that there would be no season because of the COVID restrictions here in New York. Rochester followed suit. Baltimore, Harrisburg. Once the whole division went down, I think it was, the writing was on the table that not that many teams were going to compete for the Ron Newman Cup, and there were 7 teams last year, Matt?
Yep, 7 teams.
Utica did loan out some players. Was it Ben that went to the eventual champion San Diego Sockers?
Yep, Ben went to San Diego.
Schindler, who was going to be on Rochester, but is now back to Utica due to them unfortunately not having an arena, was loaned out to the Florida Tropics. Vanzella from Baltimore was loaned to the San Diego Sockers. So there's a bunch of player movement after the East collapsed.
I think Nate also went to Florida too.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I thought he got loaned out, but I could not remember where.
Yeah, a lot of the key players in the East did get loaned out. Tavoy Morgan, Dominic Francis went to San Diego. Elton De Oliveira went to Tacoma, and then pretty much everyone else went to Florida.
Didn't
It was a who's who of indoor soccer.
What was that, Michelle?
Didn't Tagba go back to Kansas City?
Yep, Tagba went to Kansas City.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Matt, give us a refresher, some highlights from last year among those 7 teams that were Florida, Ontario, Tacoma, San Diego, Kansas City, St. Louis, and I feel like I'm one short, but I can't think of it.
Dallas.
Or Dallas, okay. That's who it was.
Yeah, so from going down from 16 teams to 7 teams was pretty crazy, but a great season overall, which started with the All-Star game in December in Kansas City, which was a great game. West won, I think, like 7-3. And then the season started, and it was pretty much Florida or the field. Florida stacked their team. With a lot of great players: Ian Bennett, Drew Ruggles, and then the 2 guys from Utica, Nate and Jake. Just one right after another. So it was pretty much a given that Florida would be the number 1 seed. What wasn't given is the fact they would lose in the first round of the playoffs. Well, the second round for them. They had a first round bye.
Okay.
So the Final Four came down to Florida versus San Diego and Ontario versus Kansas City. Excellent excellent soccer. If you're listening to this for the first time and are a new fan of indoor soccer, try and watch those games. I don't know if you'll be able to.
The whole Facebook paywall last year.
Oh, I just sneeze. Most of the games were on Facebook Live. I don't know if they are still available, but some of the best soccer I've ever seen. Close games, overtime games. And it came out to be Ontario versus San Diego in the finals. So it was played out in Ontario, and San Diego won a close mini-game. So San Diego won the Rod Newman Cup, quote unquote, for the 15th time. There's your catch up from last year.
All right, so that's what we missed last year with less than half the league playing. This year, obviously, Utica's back. As already mentioned, Rochester will not be able to play due to arena availability. Who else is bowing out? Sonora is out again. Monterey bowing out again. Orlando Seawolves are still gone. The Mississauga Metro Stars still gone. We do have 12 teams returning, with the Chihuahua Savages moving up to M1 from M2.
Yep.
Which is actually kind of going back into M1. They were there a couple of years ago. And
yeah, they were an M1 team a few years ago.
So what we get are 12 teams, which instead of being divided up into 2 conferences, it's just 3 divisions. You got the Central, you got the East, you got the West, 4 teams apiece.
Hang on a second. When did Mesquite bow out?
2 years ago.
Yeah, before the
they bowed out
pandemic.
again. Not exactly sure what was going on. Must not have been financially stable again this year. So they bowed out as well.
Okay.
Once again.
Okay.
Yeah, really kind of tough to build a league, but when you have so many teams in and out every other year. But we do have a new commissioner, or I should say commissioner group. Matt, I know you've had some of these guys on in the box show. Why don't you tell us a little bit about them?
So we've got, it's the triumvirate, if you will, the mighty 3. We've got Shep Messing, who was a former player, and is an announcer for, I'm not exactly sure which, I know he's an announcer of outdoor soccer somewhere. JP Della Camera, did a lot of indoor soccer games in the 80s and 90s. Does announce for the U.S. women's national team. And then the commissioner is Keith Tozer. Keith Tozer is an icon in the indoor soccer world. Coach, player. I don't know if he still holds the record for most wins by a coach. But led the Milwaukee Wave to a lot of successful seasons over the years.
Okay.
So they know what they're doing.
Okay.
This is not somewhat, and nothing against our former commissioner, but these guys were a part of indoor soccer.
Mm.
So they know a lot about it. And I think with the 12 teams, I understand it went from 16 to 12, but these are 12 solid teams.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So I think this is turning a corner for the sport. I mean, you're not just going to let in any team, i.e. the Mississauga Metro Stars, without having something established in the league.
Right, so kind of hoping for a little more stability with like a minimum year commitment, hopefully, beyond a single season.
Right, absolutely. And then the teams, some of the teams in M2, that if they're financially stable and there's a lot of success, there's that opportunity to go up to M1.
Mm-hmm. Which, now we have that pyramid between M3, M2, and M1, so hopefully that will not just create a pipeline for talent, but also some other viable fan bases that could, grow that M1 brand.
Exactly. Yep.
I guess speaking of growing the brand, there is a new logo. I don't know if all you, Matt, I'm sure you've seen it and have talked about it. I don't know, it feels more kind of like a sports company brand than a sports league brand logo. It's just the MASL letters, white on a black background. I'm sure there were marketing guys behind it, but it doesn't really grab my attention.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've been on the website a few times, and I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really grab me. But I mean, at the same time, I mean, like you said, there's probably some reason behind why they picked that over something else, and but I mean, I don't know. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of it.
So that's a minor thing to worry about. We'll let the ownership and commissioner group deal with that kind of stuff. Just support our team, which kicks off play of a 24-game season, 12 at home, 12 on the road, as was the usual before the COVID took place. Still going on, but that season kicks off Sunday, December 5th at home, 3 p.m., with Florida coming to town. It doesn't end until April 3rd with another home game against Chihuahua.
Yeah, I have to say, and looking at this schedule and looking at other teams' schedules, this, from a fan perspective, is one of the best schedules I've seen. Not only do we get, we get Baltimore, we get Harrisburg, and we get Florida, but we get all 4 West Conference teams.
Yeah, and I think they're all coming to town.
Twice. I think San Diego's twice.
Yes, we play out there.
Yep, we play
end of January, and then they come to town March 13th.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, that right there is just. I'm excited. Yeah, watching Baltimore 3 times, great, whatever. But seeing some of these guys from the West, not for the first time for me, but having them come to our arena, it's awesome.
I think the only 2 that don't come to us are St. Louis and Milwaukee, at least according to what I'm seeing on our schedule.
Yep.
So, I mean, everybody else comes to us at one time or another, and it'll be nice because, I mean, I felt like I know a little bit there. Obviously, we see a lot of the Blast. We see a lot of Harrisburg. It felt like, I think, what was it, our inaugural season? I think we had Baltimore probably like 3 times in a row or something close to that. It was a stretch. But it'll be nice to see some different teams come into the arena, for sure.
I want Milwaukee to come to the Adirondack Bank Center so we can actually wear our Lager Derby jerseys.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. We had those made, and then the week before they came to town, the whole world shut down.
Yeah, thank you, COVID.
I still wear mine all the time.
Oh,
so do we.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The only if we're talking the schedule real quick, the only head scratching thing is the 2 road games against Florida, 1 week apart in Florida. That's the only what were they thinking type thing.
Yeah, because we have to go there and then we come back and then we go there again.
Then I come back and then we wait. Then we have to wait another week and then we play Baltimore.
Yeah, otherwise the road trip is a a single game, or they make sense. Like the same weekend we play out in San Diego, we're playing in Ontario on a Tuesday, and then to close out that month, we have another 2-game weekend at Harrisburg and at Baltimore, and they're an hour and a half apart.
Yeah. And that Ontario game is on a Tuesday.
Yes.
Weird.
Wow. I just noticed something. The entire month of February, we have no home games.
No home games, yep.
Oof.
Yeah.
February could be a brutal stretch.
Yeah.
I mean, it starts with the last Sunday in January being at San Diego, and then it's Ontario, Baltimore, St. Louis, Harrisburg, Baltimore.
Yeah.
That could be a slog.
Just trying to find folks.
Definitely.
That's a lot.
But should be a good, fun season. We'll pack the Bank Center at the home games.
You will be loud. You will be boisterous.
Someone's got to fill in for me when I can't get out of work.
Pretty sure your brother's got you.
Who's going to fill those shoes? Come on.
Yeah. I don't know. The flag will be there either way. Kate's got it.
I call the flag.
Okay, well, just make sure it comes home with her so that I can have it back on my wall. Michelle,
I will beat somebody for that flag.
At least you didn't say with the flag.
Yeah. The flag's not exactly that dangerous to beat someone with, you know. Yeah, but 12 home games. 4 in December, 2 January, none in February, 3 in March, and then 3 in April. 4 in March and 2 in April to end it. And I think it'll be a good season. And obviously, we'll have more future breakdowns of those once we look at the division and some more signings have taken place. But at this point, I think we got to talk about the roster as it starts to take shape. We've got a lot of returners. No surprise there. We've had, as mentioned, Jake Schindler returning to the team after a 1-year hiatus to Florida via Rochester. A whole bunch of other signings lately, which most of them, like I said, they're returning. You got Bo coming back, Nate coming back, Andrew coming back. Togba did return to Kansas City. As far as the website goes, we still have Ricardo, Moy, Diego, Toby, Logan.
Moy and Logan signed.
Yes.
So they are confirmed.
From what I remember from last year with the visa issues, Coach said due to the visa issues, they're still within contract.
All right. Well, hopefully, I don't know if anything's been cleared up with the feds, but
hope so.
Yeah, that could be interesting if if we can't bring back some of the talent just because of restrictions like that. But I mean, we still have a pretty, just from the people that we've named off so far. I mean, it's a lot of familiar faces, a lot of just, I guess you could say, regulars of the roster and fan favorites, if you will. So I mean, it's a good starting point for sure. I'm really looking forward to seeing how it fills out. We've also got some new faces. So I mean, that's we've got 3, I believe, so far.
3 at the moment. 2 of them are local talent, and I'm going to apologize in advance, as I always do if I mispronounce names, because there's no pronunciation guide here. But Isaac Somau, he was a H-Trip MVCC guy, if I remember.
H-Triple-C.
Yeah, H-Trip.
Yeah,
Harvard on the Hill.
College, yep.
Don't ever mistake the two.
And then Whitman Hernandez, who was an OCC guy.
Yeah, this guy, he's had some accolades from what I'm seeing. I mean, he's recognized as a top performer for 2019-2020, number 9 men's athlete of the decade. I mean,
all-time leading scorer for SUNY Oneonta.
Yeah. So, I mean, gonna be I think he'll be an interesting one to watch at minimum.
And if Liam doesn't come back, he's got some massive shoes to fill, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And then the last signing that was announced, Patrick Thompson. He's played for the Heat in St. Louis in recent years, but Matt knows him from his days playing in Syracuse.
Yep. Fast player. Can play both offensively, defensively. Not exactly sure what he's going to be doing for Utica, but last year played great for St. Louis. And yeah, he played great when he was in Syracuse as well. So great signing for Utica. A good start to some of the new signings that we're seeing.
Just based on, at least looking at the Utica City FC website, he is currently listed as a defender. So whether that's where he stays or not, we don't know. But, I mean, that's what he is currently listed as at the time of this recording.
Wait, I missed that. Who are we talking about?
Pat Thompson.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's because he played defender last year for St. Louis.
Yeah.
So I could see him doing either. I think he was a midfielder for Syracuse, if I remember correctly. So he can go anywhere. Very flexible on the field.
Ooh, that was a terrible sound.
I mean, if it were me, I would put him back in the midfield. But that's just me.
Yeah, and if there's one thing we know about you, Huber, it's that you are a keeper.
Mm-hmm.
Very true. Very true.
Still petitioning to be Andrew's backup?
I think he was broken.
No, I'm here. So every 30 seconds it cuts out for a little bit and then comes back. I don't know. It's weird, but.
Well, as long as it's less problems than you were having with your.
Yes, this is a lot better. I can hear you guys. You can hear me. So.
I have a question for everybody.
Certainly.
If you could see one player signed or to come back to Utica, who would you want to see?
I'm going to save my answer for last.
Okay.
Let's see if I can. Do you have the free agent list available still? Because that would make a big difference. I'm not sure who signed where.
No, that.
I think she's just talking dream player. Want to get technical?
If you want to get technical, we'll try to find the list.
I'm not seeing the quick link to it on the website. That's all. You know, I'll let Brandon lead off with this one.
Oh, come on. Why you got to do this to me? Come on.
I mean,
Age before beauty.
If you want to think about it, I could go first. If you want me to go first.
I mean, you are the guest, so.
He's just a part of the podcast at this point now.
I mean, yeah.
All right. So, if I could only pick one player. Well, I'm narrowing it down to two. Slav and Joey Tavernisi. I would have to say from an indoor soccer perspective, I would say Slav.
Okay.
Just a free kick master. Great place, great time. So I will say this. Don't be surprised if those two people I mentioned came back.
All right.
Okay.
Do not be surprised.
Okay.
I mean, if you look at Joey Tabernisi's social media, he's kind of leaning towards coming back another season. And I think it might be with Utica. And from what I saw last year, Slav was not a part of the playoff team. Was not part of the playoffs with San Diego. And I think he left California, if I'm thinking correctly.
I mean, see, the thing is I always felt like he kind of, once he went to San Diego, I felt like he definitely wasn't as much of a standout as he was in Utica. I mean, everyone on the Utica team is, hardworking. They're great players. They are really, talented, but he still was able to stand out among them. Whereas I feel like with San Diego, I do feel like he kind of blended in with the crowd a little bit more, if you will.
100%. I agree with you 100%. I think it was different styles of play because we saw it with Christian Segura. So when he played for Sonora, they utilized him correctly and very successful. Then he goes to San Diego, doesn't really do that much in the midfield, and then comes to Utica and he's back to normal. So I think you saw that with Slav last year. But like I said, you didn't see him. He did not go with the team to the playoffs. So was he injured? Was he? It makes you wonder. So, like I said, don't be surprised if you see those two guys come back.
Yeah, I was going to say, he was the big off-season acquisition for them 2 years ago. Hardly part of the team last year, it seemed like. And then their big acquisition last year was Gordy Gerson, and now he's on to Milwaukee.
I think last year's big acquisition for San Diego was Ben Raymond, but that's just me.
Okay, big offensive addition. Which, when you look at Gerson, I mean, in 11 games with Florida, he had 21 points. 9 games played last year, and he didn't get a single point. He only got 6 shots. It really seems like San Diego has this core of already established talent in the area, and I think the reason Vanzella was able to go there and succeed is because as a keeper, you have to, I don't want to say you have to mesh less with the guys on the turf, but the game flow doesn't go through you offensively, usually.
Right.
And you can just do your thing in the box. Whereas,
yeah, but at the same time, I mean, you do still have to kind of mesh with your defense because, you see keepers all the time. Not necessarily, I don't want to say barking orders, but you see them kind of directing their defense to kind of where they're seeing things, because they have kind of a wide angle view of the field, whereas depending on your positioning, you might not see everything.
I mean, we've seen Andrew do that how often now?
All the time.
Yeah.
Can I go next?
Certainly.
No.
Listen here, Hubert. Nobody is going to be surprised at my answer. Mood.
Yeah, no surprise there at all.
I'm actually shocked.
It was between Tavernisi and Mood. Tavernisi because of his energy on the field. Mood because of his that man gets the most awkward-looking goals I've ever seen in my life.
The most awkward? Are you forgetting about Sensei's one goal there?
Well, I mean, or the one off Jake's butt.
Exactly.
I mean, Freddie can get into scoring positions that not a lot of people can seem to do, where he's scoring off his chest. He's scoring off the back of his foot.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where he lands. No real, there was a few months ago, he did post on Twitter something about Utica City, but
Yep.
A whole bunch of things.
I've been told that he hasn't been offered anything from the team that I know of. So,
Well, you are the insider.
not really. I'm not really much of an insider anymore. I don't get I don't get a lot of information. Well,
see, you made yourself a media member, and then you became the enemy.
No. To some people, I am the enemy, but I did find out about Patrick Thompson going to Utica a couple months ago from another player, which I'm not going to name my source, but so I knew about that one, but I have gotten no information from Utica upper management.
So, I mean, I actually have two things that I wanted to mention because we talked a little bit about the Wave, but I'll talk about my pick first. Simply because of the energy that was brought to the field and the fans, I still want to see Tim back. Tim, period. Just give me Sensei. Give me my Tim Goldman. Come on. Give me.
You're going to have him. I mean, there was a video of him practicing with the team. So I think it's a no-brainer at this point. He's going to get re-signed.
I mean, I would hope so. Cause again, like I said, he didn't have I don't feel he did as much, field time as some of the other players, but he does bring energy not only to the fans on the field, but off the field as well. I mean, we all personally have kind of a little, I guess you could say, investment in him after giving him that, his Sensei headband. We all kind of, and of course, we're all kind of the headband crew at times at the games.
I
so
have to find our headbands.
they're in the closet. I know exactly where they are. You think I would forget that? But on a side note, I just wanted to, touch on, we were talking about where some of our other talent went. Talking about going back to Kansas City. Matt Perella, who was on the team, was going to Rochester along with Jake, is now at the Wave. I see. He got picked up by the Wave.
Yeah. Which is Lemos back this year? Because I know he had that terrible knee injury 2 years ago.
So Milwaukee is in the same boat with Utica, in the same boat with a lot of other teams with visa issues. I haven't really heard a lot about Lemos if he's coming back. If you were to, I would say it's about 70% that Lemos will be back. But Matt Perella as a solid option. I mean, if Lemos doesn't come back,
right?
So you think? I mean, if he does come back, then Perella kind of goes into a secondary role like we've seen him in previously.
Like we've seen him many times before. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's a solid backup goalie if you need that. And if not, from what we saw, he looks like he could be a very serviceable first-string goalie.
Absolutely. I completely agree.
All right, so Brandon, did you say who you wanted to come back yet?
Yeah, Timmy.
Timmy. Okay, yes. Sure.
We're waiting on you there, sir.
So mine's going to be a little bit different. It is a former player, but I'd like to see them come back as an assistant coach. And that's Lucio Gonzaga. And I say that because in his time with Utica, when he was on the field, he tended to be the guy that not just could slow down the offense, but could help calm down everyone else on the turf. You know, that veteran presence that can get everyone's head back where it needs to be. And I think having that kind of mentality would make him a great teacher for the midfield to keep improving so that we don't see some of those late game collapses that we did a couple years ago.
Third quarter.
Yeah.
Cough, Kansas City, cough.
Or that Kansas City implosion that officially ended our year because no other games were played.
No, that was the last home game.
Was that okay? That's just the last game in my mind.
3 days later, 3 or 4 days later, the last goal of the season for Utica was Willie B scoring in Harrisburg because he threw it the length of the field.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
We won't talk about that.
So wait, no. So wait. So back to your original question, and this might change my mind a little bit. So are we talking just Utica?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Then my answer stays the same.
Oh, because you're going to bring someone from Syracuse?
I was definitely going to bring someone from Syracuse. 100%.
Well, I mean, Syracuse wasn't part of Utica.
Well, I mean, if I have a jersey of this player, does that count?
Matt, you have a jersey of almost every player.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That doesn't narrow it down
really,
very far.
No, I really don't. I don't.
Yeah, you could just go like 2 weeks without having to switch out any clothes because you could just keep going through jerseys.
No. Okay, so all I have is the Toby jersey, and then I have the three generic ones. And then the fifth one that I have is of the person I was going to pick if we had gone with Syracuse.
Didn't you get an All-Star jersey?
Well, yeah, I have an All-Star jersey.
Okay, there's 6, and then you have the one that we custom made. We're up to 7.
Well, we're up to 7.
Oh, we're talking jerseys in general, not just Utica? Oh, I have way too many jerseys. Oh, my God.
Yeah, just
MASL.
jerseys.
There's a lot. I was talking just Utica in general.
So who are you going to say from Syracuse then?
Yeah, I'm curious now. You've piqued my interest.
Okay, so you guys have to watch some of the old Syracuse Silver Knights videos, or he actually plays with the Pittsburgh Riverhounds of the USL.
I know who you're going to talk about. Yeah,
Toronto Forbes, one of the best, if not the best midfielder I have ever seen in my life. It just always was high goals, high assists. Just a general, basically, out on that field. That's all I can really say about him. I mean, if I could have Canardo Forbes back in a heartbeat, bring it on. You guys would love him. But so he signed with the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, and they wanted to bring him back for the inaugural season, but Pittsburgh said no.
right.
So
He was on the website as inactive that entire first season.
right. So he's continued to thrive out in Pittsburgh. But yeah, he is just a beast. So yeah, Canardo Forbes for me.
Huh.
If it was Syracuse or Utica.
Yeah, let's see.
Okay.
Okay. So according to Wikipedia, in his indoor career, he had 132 appearances and 108 goals.
Almost a goal every game.
That's
And they still have him listed as inactive on the roster for Utica City. Which probably just means the way that...
But you're saying there's a chance.
I'm
saying there's a chance.
saying it's probably like with those international draft players you see in basketball where you get the rights to them whenever they decide to leave their other league. Yeah. You get the chance to sign them before anyone else, but who knows? That would be a Tommy Tanner question.
Yep.
Because Wikipedia could not be up to date.
You expect too much.
Well, guys, I think it's exciting that we have a season to look forward to. 72 is back. There's the new Comets team, so the Odd's going to be painted red and black. The turf, I'm imagining, is still going to be blue. I don't see them dropping thousands on that to get a brand new color scheme. Although they do have the new apparel contract that was made today, or announced today, for 4 years.
Yep.
And we got Naughty.
Yeah. That thing is nightmare-inducing.
Yes, so if you're coming to the Utica this year for any games as a fan, the friendly green mascot, Audie, is no longer there because the Comets switched affiliation from the Vancouver Canucks to the New Jersey Devils. So there's a...
That's not why he left. He left because he had to go back to space. Didn't you watch the video?
I watched him get tricked into a spaceship, yes.
No. He had to go back to space. He had to go back to his home world.
I don't know, but if I see that Naughty face to face, I'm running the other way at a high rate of speed.
Yes. So,
what about this Naughty and then the Flemmy the Flu?
Look, Matt, we know you have a thing for Flemmy the Flu Monster, and I just want you to know. I want you to know that is a national idea that they've been running with for how many years now, because I've seen commercials with Flemmy the Flu Monster on TV. I have heard radio broadcasts for Kinney's on my Tennessee Titans broadcasts from Nashville talking about Flemmy the Flu Monster.
So Flemmy the Flu is nationwide. See?
Nationwide.
It all started in Utica.
And
a nationwide icon.
The real MVP of that mascot game.
No, I think the real MVP of that mascot game was that damn hot dog.
Yes.
I mean, that was the official MVP.
Homeboy was all over the place.
It was the hot dog. Yes.
No one
100%.
respects the enforcer that was Flemmy the Flu.
Yeah.
Right, folks, I think that's going to do it for us this time, unless there's anything else you guys want to talk about.
No.
Oh, I could sit and talk about the new rules of the game for a while, but no.
Yeah, I'd like to save that for another episode.
You got it.
I've glanced through them. I saw there's some controversy with the new keeper rules.
That's for another. But
yeah, we'll save that for an outrage session later.
The point system's awesome. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, so there's a new way of keeping record track. There's a new playoff system. We'll save that for another episode. Hopefully we'll be back weekly. No promises right now on the preseason. And let's get ready for December 5th, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will be ready.
Utica City, Florida Tropics, at the Adirondack Bank Center, at the Utica Memorial Auditorium. God, that's a long name. We're going back to calling it the Odd. I don't care.
It's not the Utica Memorial Auditorium. It's the Adirondack Bank Center.
Yeah.
I call it the Odd.
It's the Odd.
It's
Their
the
mascot's still Audie. Naughty, sorry.
That thing is nightmare-inducing. Can we stop talking about that gremlin?
You know you're going to see it several times this year.
I will run away screaming.
Don't make me,
That's
tweet at him
very
and say,
tough
hey,
to
come
do.
hang out with,
Yeah, come to 212.
all the time.
Here's
We're
an
your
invite.
we're your biggest fans.
I will pout. I will hide behind Dave.
We'll get you a 1911.
I don't like 1911.
All right, that's Kate. I thought you were drinking that with Kate.
No, I like Labatt.
Maybe she'll have a 72.
Yeah, I'll have 72.
All right, folks. Thank you for listening. Whether you're a Utica City fan or just a fan of the MASL. To the guys that have been,
or if you just enjoy our incessant rambling. I mean,
yeah.
We're good. We're good to fall asleep to.
Oh yeah, our voices are so soothing.
And it is at this time that we will be bringing this broadcast to a close. However, first,
All right, I'm done.
God.
For the new guys that were signed, the guys that were brought back, welcome to the city. Let's kick some ass this season. And until next time, Matt, thank you for joining us. Matt, thank you for joining us.
Anytime.
There we go.
See, I told you it cuts out at the weirdest times.
Some nice awkward dead silence. That's what's great for the audio broadcast.
Yes.
He's just sitting there, nodding his head like, "Yep, no problem, guys, no problem at all."
No,
Just can't hear the rock shaking.
No, we're good.
Yeah, that microphone's not fine enough to pick up that rattling. Brandon, Michelle, you guys ready to do this for 5 more months?
Yes, I guess.
Perfect.
Maybe.
I mean, I do what I must.
Look, if Matt, Adam, and Gio can put this together every Monday night, 52 weeks a year, I think we can handle 20 weeks.
Yeah.
You say that now.
Yeah, just
Yeah, but after a few weeks, I get sick of them and need a week off. So
that's when you just have some convenient audio issues and go do your own show about gambling.
No, those are consistent, and Facebook Live is a lot better than YouTube when it comes to my phone. So
I can't say anything after the problems Skype gave me tonight.
yeah.
You couldn't even see my chickens.
That sounds so inappropriate.
I'm not gonna say anything. We're just gonna,
All I can think about is...
Fine, since you're gonna cut this part out anyway, because I know you're going to.
No, I wasn't planning on it, but now I feel like I have to.
No, don't do anything we're all going to regret.
I'm gonna shut my mouth then.
All I can picture now is that one night where Matt just kept editing Vitaly's face smaller and smaller until it was just an eyeball at one point.
It's kind of what I was going for.
I got that vibe immediately. Like, this is payback for the crimes I've committed.
Except mine was animated.
And actually glared at you.
I'm sorry I haven't gotten around to making individual GIFs for every player on Utica City.
Get on that. Let's go. Chop, chop. Come on.
I'm just going to scream into the void that Phil needs to do that. Phil, in your free time, Phil. All right, folks. Let's get this wrapped up. Again, thank you for listening. for the new players, welcome to the city. Pat, if you ever want to complain about the HRBT to someone that knows your pain, I'm your guy. Section 212, you can't miss us.
For the shiny head.
That's right.
Certainly can't unlisten to us.
No, you can't. We'll be loud. We'll be proud. And hopefully no one will get over it. Until next time, I'm Matt.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Michelle.
Have a good one, everyone. Hey everyone, thanks for listening to the Keeper's Corner podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to us so you never miss an episode. If that podcast app also has reviews, be sure to leave us 5 stars to let us know how we're doing and reach a larger audience. It really helps us out. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Keeper Corners Pod. And you can always find us there talking UCFC soccer. Thanks again for the support. It's truly appreciated. One last thing. Go Utica.